Hi guys, I'm Jessica, and this is my co-host Brittany, and you are watching a Pixie Dust Productions book review.
This time around, we read a personal development book, Mama Bear Apologetics. It's by a group of several different authors working under the umbrella of general editor Hillary Morgan Ferrer, released in 2019 by Harvest House Publishers.
So a little bit about the author. Hillary Morgan Ferrer grew up in a Christian household. She's working on her master's in apologetics. She loves to help moms, and she's been married for 13 years. Her and her husband minister together as a team.
When it comes to personal development books, I do enjoy having a group of authors as opposed to a singular author. I think that's really useful to have different voices in a personal development journey.
Yeah, that's a good thought. You're right. I didn't even think about that, but that's good. All right, so this is a book that I had never read before. This was one that actually was Brittany's choice, and I've had pretty much no expectations going in, to be honest. Nothing negative or positive in my mind. I did agree to read the book, so it was one of interest to me, but I wasn't sure 100% what I was getting into.
I had also not read this book before. I went into it expecting to learn a lot of fundamental theological truths broken down into simplistic explanations to be easily digestible by children. I was wrong in my expectations. I just had the wrong concept of how the book was geared and directed.
Okay, so what this book was about, it was a tool to help parents build a firm foundation for their children's faith so that they'll be able to spot cleverly disguised and commonly accepted lies. It provides ideas for how to talk to your kids about topics that will inevitably come up regarding faith, and it also provides helpful resources for both you and your children to reference for more information.
Yeah, so it wasn't exactly what I thought it was, but overall it was a good collection of information on different movements. I really appreciated the emphasis it had on controlling knee-jerk emotional reactions and insisted on purposing to rest on fact, which I believe is a process that's really lost on much of society today. And since finishing the book, I have referenced particular chapters several times as conversations regarding different movements have risen, and I found it to be a very useful and valuable tool on my bookshelf.
That's awesome. I did really enjoy that they included a resource list in this book too. That's super exciting, and there's several books on that list that we're planning to check out in the future too. And then I really enjoyed one of the quotes from the book. It said, "The most potent lies are wrapped in partial truth. If a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, then partial truths help the lies go down." And I felt like that is so accurate and also so appropriate for our Disney Channel. As far as things that I didn't like about this book, I did think some of it was a little boring. I'm sorry. There were just certain topics that weren't of much interest to me that I felt were a little bit boring. And I also feel like I didn't learn very much. It was very encouraging and inspiring, but not so much like teaching us something.
This book had a very women's Bible study feel to it, and I don't personally enjoy those very often. I spent a good amount of time irritated with the fact that the authors seem to be overly focused on paving the foundation that women, and mothers particularly, don't want to learn apologetics, but that instead it's an unavoidable task that we must take in part of duty, or as part of a duty in raising children. It came across like they were apologizing for sharing this information with us in the first place. The idea continued to further present that women, and particularly mothers, are incapable of learning from university-style lectures while performing our daily monotonous muscle memory tasks like dishes and laundry. I highly reject that idea that they overly emphasized, as actually, in fact, I do spend most of my time in monotonous activities like folding laundry and doing dishes, listening to theological university lectures, as it is a deep passion of mine, and I follow along just fine. Thanks, ladies. I found the entire notion of it being too complicated to be kind of belittling and offensive to my intellect and to the intellectual capabilities of many mothers who are enrolled as students and listen to lectures within their fields as they maintain their households.
I remember you commenting about that in our little group chat. but wow, you're quite passionate about this.
It really upset me. I also really did not enjoy the pause section, which was added to the book. It's basically guided reflective prayers. And I know people find those to be incredibly helpful and fulfilling, but I find them to be impersonal and forced. So it's just not for me.
I never like those. I never like those in any books. I agree with you.
So overall, this book receives between 4 and 5 stars on most all review forums that I came across. So it appears to be generally well received. Elisa Childers is one of the contributing authors in the book, and she was interviewed by Melissa Doherty and Doreen Virtue, and that interview actually solidified my interest in the book, as I find value from many of the resources that Melissa and Doreen back. And the book is also endorsed by the author of Cold Case Christianity, so the reception overall is just super solid.
So I would recommend this book to Christian moms needing encouragement in today's crazy world. I don't feel you're going to learn a ton. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I didn't find any new information.
Okay, I don't feel like you're going to learn a ton from it, but I do think that Christian moms can be encouraged by this book. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and raise our bookworm 3 books high. I agreed with pretty much everything in the book. I found it encouraging. I just did not feel like I learned enough. So 3 books it gets.
Yeah, I would recommend this book to pretty much anyone who's interested in a simple, collective, general overview of different beliefs and movements that are relevant to our modern world. With the caveat that it is geared towards mothers, but you can easily move past anything that's particularly motherly about it and just get to the informative bits. In fact, I believe that I remember reading that the main contributor, Hillary Morgan Ferrer, is not a mother.
That's accurate.
So, and my husband has also referenced it a few times as quick guides to certain movements and overviews. Overall, I am going to raise our bookworm also 3 books high. The information was well organized and useful, and as I stated before, I have already and will continue to reference it as a resource, but I just really didn't appreciate the degradation of intellectual abilities along the way.
I feel like when you come across something in a book that upsets you that much, it makes it very hard to bring yourself back into the book afterwards. All right, if you guys have any questions or comments regarding this discussion, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below, or you can find us on all of our social medias, which will be in the description box below. And we would be happy to answer those in our next video. So for our next discussion, we will be talking about A Study in Scarlet, as well as this Sherlock Holmes book, which is filled with the short stories from the Strand magazine, written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. So we will provide links to where you can purchase these books in the description below as well, so you can join us in that conversation.
I'm super excited about that one. I really look forward to coming back with you guys for that.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye. Hi, friends. After recording this episode, Jessica and I decided that we wanted to go ahead and add the rest of Sherlock Holmes' adventures to our reading plan. So, along with the short stories from Strand Magazine, The Hound of Bakersville, and A Study in Scarlet, we went ahead and picked up The Sign of the Four and The Valley of Fear as well. We will go ahead and link all of the copies that we have that have the original illustrations from Strand Magazine in the description box below, and we hope to see you next time at 221B Baker Street. Bye!